ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Along with Michelle Smallman, Courtney Cronin in for Chris Canty today. Evan Cohen with you as we have 1 week away from the NBA trade deadline, a week and a half away from the Super Bowl. Hall of Fame voting going in the opposite direction, not only for Coach Belichick, but for other people as well. And Small was very excited that there are new phone chargers. Only problem, Courtney? She doesn't know where her phone is. We have brand new phone chargers in the studio, but she doesn't have a phone.
This is a problem. I don't know where my phone is, and it could go off at any time. So maybe it's in my bag. Maybe I left it out there. I don't know. But if anyone's trying to call me at 6:02 a.m., might be live on the air.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Now, what happens if your phone rings in studio and you're very nervous right now that you can't find it? Like, is there money in the jar because you're creating chaos where chaos does not need to exist?
I'll pay. That's fineable.
Does Rob have it potentially?
Rob, do you have it? Why would Rob have it? Oh, he's trying to call it.
Everyone's trying to call it.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Wait,
Courtney,
Michelle,
go ahead.
do you keep your phone on loud?
Yeah, until I get in this chair, and then I put it on sleep mode so that if anyone texts me or calls me, it's silent.
Wait, right, but like during the day?
Oh, yeah. It's all loud.
Really? You're not a silent vibration?
Weird.
Like,
why is that weird?
You have your phone on ring?
Yeah,
Michelle, that's very boomer of you. I did not expect that. I was stunned to hear that. Like,
We've thrown Courtney off too. This is amazing.
You purposely trigger yourself with your phone.
No, I purposely want to hear it if someone is trying to call me.
All right,
because I don't like to have it on my person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it in a back pocket. I throw it in my bag.
Right, I just keep it in my hand at all times and look down every 4 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, same. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
See,
terrible. I actually feel very free right now not having it. I hate my phone.
You do? You literally have multiple people on a search for your phone right now.
Well, only because I don't want it to go off and disrupt the show.
Well, let's see. By the way, we're not going to know the answer until you get it back. Let's see if you are someone out there and you have Michelle Smallman's phone number. If you know her personally, call her now. Let's see how many missed calls we can get by the time that she finds the phone. Now, I don't know if DraftKings Sportsbook has set an over-under on this.
Okay.
So if we don't have it, let's go to Vegas East. What would you like the over-under number to be as to how many missed calls we can produce for one Michelle Smallman based on her not having her phone? The platform that we are on, we are fortunate enough to be on, is enormous. So there's definitely people listening that know you.
Are they awake at 6:03 a.m. Eastern?
Let's hope so.
I hope so, too, but I don't know.
Vegas East, what's the over-under on missed calls? How many can we get for her?
Let's go 10.
10? Wow.
Well, it's usually a half number, so we'll go 9.5.
Okay.
9.5 over/under. I think we can hit the over.
Isn't this going to be really annoying for whoever's in the room that your phone's in?
Yeah, that's the point. Let's just hope it's not in like the get-up meeting.
Now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it wouldn't be in the get-up meeting. I wasn't in that room.
Okay.
Yeah, but what if it's in like makeup and just going off, but they can't figure out where it is?
Sorry, Lou and Anita.
That'll be great. Oh, this will be great. Anyway, good morning, everybody. You heard there before the Smalls phone drama and Courtney being very thrown off by the fact that Smalls has a horrific thing where she's ringing all day.
Horrific?
It's horrific, as per Courtney. I agree with her that you have a ringer on all day.
I don't know if I use that word, but...
Anyway, we have reporting from Shams Charania, senior NBA insider, of course, for ESPN, about Giannis and the Bucks and what could be next. And here is what Shams had to say 1 week away from the trade deadline on the 2 p.m. Eastern Sports Center about Giannis being ready to move on.
Sources tell me Giannis Antetokounmpo has made it clear that he's ready and prepared for a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks, whether it's at the trade deadline or in the offseason. My understanding is Giannis has communicated to the organization for months now that he believes it's time to part ways after 13 years together, a championship together. And so the Milwaukee Bucks have gotten aggressive offers from multiple rival teams over the last several days. And I'm told they are starting to listen. These are offers of all-star players, multiple draft picks, and this is all that's been brewing over the last 9 months.
Okay, so do you both believe this is it? This is the beginning of the end for Giannis with the Bucks?
Absolutely. Why would it not be? The biggest obstacle was him being the bad guy and asking out, saying that he doesn't want to be there anymore. And Shams is telling you he's already had those conversations. And if you're the Milwaukee Bucks and you can get a big package for him and start this next chapter of whatever your team is going to look like. And if he doesn't want to be there, why wouldn't you do it? I understand that he is a superstar. He brought them a title. He is the Bucks. You talk about this all the time, Evan, as somebody who spent a lot of time in Wisconsin, that it's Packers, 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 then maybe Bucks, but only because of Giannis. And that's a tough business decision to move on from a player of that caliber and a person who's meant so much to a community. But this is what the NBA is these days. When Damian Lillard and Portland had their divorce, I thought to myself at that time, we're never going to see somebody who's likely with an organization for the entirety of their career in the NBA anymore. And I hate that. I love having one player be synonymous with one franchise. But in the NBA today, these guys want to maximize the finite amount of time that they have to get rings. And with all the pieces moving around and players teaming up and trying to go for it, if Giannis doesn't feel like he can get it done in Milwaukee, I understand his sense of urgency to want to go elsewhere and try to get another one.
Why did this have to happen now? Like, could we not have done this in the summertime? That's my biggest gripe with this, because I don't fault Giannis for trying to make it work with Milwaukee. Like Michelle said, he wanted to play his career in one place. He had multiple opportunities. You know, every year I tell time in the summer by when the GQ article is dropped, where Giannis sits down and mulls over the idea of, do I want to stay here long term or might I want to go somewhere else? And the equivalent of that this year was when he was in Greece on that beach with I Show Speed, the live stream, where he talked very briefly, didn't really give you much, but pondered the idea about his future and whether he wants to stay in Milwaukee. The answer then was yes, but you could tell there was still some hesitation over would this Miles Turner acquisition do anything for the team. And so far, what we know about the Bucks this year is that's probably going to be answered with no, it didn't do that much. But do you really think that a team right now is going to blow it all up a week ahead of the trade deadline for Giannis Antetokounmpo? It is so much easier to blow up your roster and think about the long-term ramifications of that in the summertime, which is why, minus last year with the Luka trade that we did not see coming, this stuff typically doesn't happen at the NBA trade deadline. What this immediately does for me, though, and the clock's been started on this, I think, for a couple years, guys. Whenever this happens, because it's inevitable, it's going to happen, it turns Giannis into Kevin Garnett immediately, because then the expectation on him to be healthy and to go win a championship immediately at your next stop, that's what the ramifications personally are for him.
Yeah, so I have said all along I do not believe he is going to get traded. That's what I've said from the beginning in all of this. And I am going to soften my stance right now.
Okay.
I believe there is a chance he gets traded at some point. I do not necessarily believe it is going to be over the next week. I think if he does get traded over the next week, I think there's a clear and obvious front runner, and I'll get to that in a second. But if I were the Milwaukee Bucks, I would not trade him. And I don't mean just now. I mean ever. Like literally ever. Because unless he says to me, I want to leave, I want to be out, which then, because of this amazing partnership for the last 12 years, I would actually honor his request, because I think the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis have given every ounce of effort to make each other great. I think this has been an unbelievable partnership for 12 years. And while the Miles Turner thing didn't put them over the top, you could look at what they've done from Miles Turner to Dame Lillard to Drew Holiday. And one thing you can't say, they try.
Oh, yeah.
They try for him. And it worked. They got a championship. They got a new building. They have a downtown Deer District. But I would not trade him, because how I would look at it if I were the Milwaukee Bucks, I have a year and a half, in essence, of his services. And I will never, ever get a person or player ever to walk through my doors again like that. Now, if he wants to ask out, I would do it. But he's eligible for a 4-year, $275 million contract extension on October 1st. I would obviously offer that. At the moment I can offer it, he's getting that. If he wants to say no, I then have still another full season of Giannis's services. And I would still
through the same song and dance again.
And I would still not trade him. I would still not trade him.
Here's what like, I hear you. Do you not think that this news got out, though? They don't just put this out there that the Bucks are open to listening to offers unless he signs off on this, for all the reasons that you just mentioned of how great the partnership has been, how loyal he's been to that organization. When I hear this, I feel like this is Giannis saying without saying, because for whatever reason, he doesn't want to be the bad guy and say, please trade me. Mm-hmm. This only happens when you just don't put this out there unless the player has signed off on it. And the idea of the extension, let's say he doesn't get traded by the deadline. I don't think he will. I think this is a major offseason blockbuster that it's going to take a third team. Maybe Portland gets in, try to get some of the picks back. This is going to take a lot of moving parts to happen. But if it doesn't, he signs the extension, we're right back here a year from now. Because I don't see how does this get better?
I was going to tell you this. So here's how it gets better. When you have a year plus to actually make this decision, that means you have the trade deadline this year. You have 3 chances if you don't trade him. Trade deadline this year. Offseason between the 2 years. Trade deadline next year. I'm not suggesting you're going to make the team better. There are not a ton of ways of doing so. But you have an opportunity to try 3 different times. So until he formally says, I want out, I am not trading him if I'm them. This is me personally. I'm not suggesting this is what they are going to do, and they know a lot more things than I do. I'm just saying I look at him as once in a lifetime that I will never get again. Now, I said there is a clear front runner in all of this. If he is to be traded by next week, the clear and obvious front runner is a team that you could. Courtney asked the question, how could a contender or a potential contender remove pieces and get Giannis and contend this year? Well, there's a potential contender that could remove pieces that aren't actually being used. And that's clear and obvious to be the Golden State Warriors. The Jimmy Butler injury, sadly, may be the turning point of the entire NBA season, because you could remove Butler, who's not playing, remove Kuminga, who's not playing, remove Brandon Podziemski, who they don't want to play, and remove 4 first-round picks and get Giannis. And that, in theory, could be enough if Milwaukee's going to trade him by next week, where Milwaukee could look at it and say, we get 4 first-rounders now, we get a young player in Kuminga, and we can go through this dance voluntarily with Jimmy in the offseason, where now he's a player that is a put over the top for another team on an expiring contract that maybe that's our 5th first-rounder we get out of this. Golden State removes no one from their rotation and gets Giannis.
This is stunning, because Shams is reporting that it's the Warriors, Knicks, Timberwolves, and Heat that are among the suitors for Giannis. And when you said there is a clear and obvious front runner here, I thought I would have bet my bottom dollar that you, Evan Cohen, would have gone all in on the Miami Heat.
That's what I thought.
I cannot believe it just came out of your mouth that the clear and obvious path here is with the Golden State Warriors.
Well, what did Courtney say, Smalls? How are you going to just add him in season and be a contender when you have to remove so much? What if you have to remove nothing? Which would be what goal... That's not to say Jimmy and Kuminga are nothing. What I'm saying is they're nothing currently for them for other circumstances. That's your clear and obvious front. In my opinion, if this gets done within the next week, Golden State would be looked at as a front runner. I would bet it would not get done over the next week, and I still would be surprised if it gets done at all, because if it were me, I would not trade him ever. By the way, you know who owns this team? One of the owners, governors of the team?
Yes.
Jimmy and Dee Haslam. You know what else they own? The Cleveland Browns. You know who has a new coach? Jimmy and Dee Haslam's team. And you know who's not happy about it? Everyone. We'll talk about that next. We're on Sportsmanlike.